class. Today we are going to learn the chapter nutrition in plants, or we know in this chapter how a plant grow and they make their own food. So first we know that what is the meaning of nutrition. We first have to learn what is the meaning of nutrition. So here we can see that nutrition is the mode of taking food by an organism. So, what is nutrition? Nutrition is the process by which an organism may take food. Uh, uh, Nutrition is the process by which animals take food or make their own food. Okay, utilization and how they utilize that food in the body. First of all, the nutrition are of the two types. Nutrition are of two types. First is autotroph. The animals who make their own food by using simple substance and raw materials are known as autotrophs. And autotrophs. Out meaning of the auto is means self, and trophic means nourishment. Nourishment. Uh, Make their in autotroph animal make their own food by using simple materials. Now, and the animals are called autotrophs, and the plants are make their own food. That's why they are the autotrophs. Okay. Now we know about this is the first. This is the first autotroph. Now we will learn about heterotroph. What is heterotroph? Heterotroph is the animals who depend on other animals, who depend on other animals to for food. For example, humans are heterotrophs and animals are what heterotrophs because they are dependent on plants. For example, we eat potato, so we are basically dependent on the plant of potato. Now we learn about autotroph and heterotroph. Now we are going to learn about what is nutrients. The component which are we get from the foods are known as nutrition. For example, carbohydrate, minerals, and vitamins are the components of the food, and they are called nutritions. Okay. So nutrients are necessary for our body because we have to grow, we have to learn, we have to grow, and we have to do daily life work, which we cannot do without these nutrients. Okay. All living organisms require food. Plants can synthesize food for themselves. The plants made their food by themselves, but animal like we cannot make our own food, and we only get food from the only from plant. Thus, humans and animals are directly depend on the plant. Now we are going to learn how plant make their own food. Okay. Now we are going to learn about how the plant make their own food, how they collect all the raw materials, and how they process all the process, how they conduct, how they get all the raw materials, etc. First of all, the process by which plants make their own food is known as photosynthesis. By the process of photosynthesis, plants make their own food. Okay, the process name is photosynthesis. Now we learn about photosynthesis. First of all, we have so many questions that how plant make their own food, how where are the food factories of plants, where they get raw materials, and water and mineral, how they are observed by the plant, observed by the root and transported to leaves. Okay. How is how we are going to learn about all of the things. First of all, for making a plant, for making food for the plant, they need carbon dioxide, water, and minerals, and sunlight also. Waters and winds are get from the soil, which is absorbed by the roots and transported to the leaves. Leaves are the place where all the foods were made. All the foods were prepared in the leaves. Okay. And the second thing is carbon dioxide. It's also need carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is plant absorb carbon dioxide through their leaves. From the leaves they absorb, from the leaves they absorb the carbon dioxide. If you see our leaves from downside, you see a rough surface. The rough surface is because there are many pores. There are many pores which are called stomata, and stomata is guarded by surrounded by the guard cell. Stomata is the surrounded by guard cell. The guard cell. What is the work of stomata? Stomata is the cell which will help in the exchange of the gases. Stomata observe the carbon dioxide, and after food prepared, they release oxygen. So this is the work of stomata. Okay. Water and minerals are you, I have tell about you water and I have tell this that earlier that water and minerals are transported to the leaves by the vessel which run like pipe throughout the root. These vessels are everywhere from the leaves to the roots to the from the leaves to the root. They all are everywhere, and they help in the transportation of the food and water from one place to another place. They form a continuous path or passage for the nutrients to reach the leaves. They are, yes, from the root to the leaves, they conduct the minerals and food. And we learn how they transport from in class in chapter 7, how they conduct these processes. Now we learn about chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green pigment which help it to capture the sunlight from the sun. Uh, Chlorophyll is the pigment which absorbs sunlight from the sun, and then is it used to synthesis the and prepare the food with the help of sunlight. Sunlight and carbon dioxide and water. And plant make the food from the using sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. Okay. Since the synthesis of food occur in the presence of sun, you know that the plant only prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis. That's why they need the sunlight, and that's why the process is also known as photosynthesis, because it's only happen in the presence of sunlight. The sunlight also known as the light also known as photo, and synthesis is synthesis means to prepare. So that's why the photosynthesis means light and to combine. So we know that the carbon dioxide, sunlight, and water are necessary to carry out the process of photosynthesis. These are the things which are necessary for the process of the photosynthesis. It is unique process on the earth. It is a very unique process on the earth. The plant capture the sunlight energy, and roots carry the waters and mineral from root to leaves, and the leaves make their food. That is a very unique process, and that's why the sun is the only sources of ultimate and only source for the energy for all living organisms. We also use the sunlight for vitamin D. In the sense of what happened when the sunlight just disappeared. So when the sunlight just disappeared, the process of photosynthesis is stopped, and all the plants are died due to due to due to and all the plants were died because of the unavailability of sunlight. Almost we know that almost every animal is dependent on the sunlight and plant. So when plant died, every animal will suffer. All the animal on the earth will be suffer. And if the plant die, we also don't get the oxygen, because oxygen is the best product of the plant. And in the absence of photosynthesis, life would be possible on earth. Life would be die. During photosynthesis, chlorophyll containing cell of leaves in presence of sun use carbon. What is the equation? We have to know that what is the equation of the photosynthesis. This is the equation of photosynthesis. First of all, what happened? Uh, Carbon dioxide. We get carbon dioxide from the air absorbed by the leaves, and water from the earth, which is absorbed by the root, and it combined with the sunlight, which is absorbed by the chlorophyll. Okay, so these three will make food, and in the byproduct of these products are carbohydrate, which is the ultimate food, and what oxygen. So these are the byproduct of the plant. The carbohydrate is the food, and oxygen is the waste product, which is released by the plant from afterward completing the process. Here you can see that how a chlorophyll are. The chlorophyll are the above in the leaves, and stomata are just mm, behind them. Here is the stomata, which are the gap which exchange air and oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is guarded by the guard cell. These are the both guard cell, and this small gap is called stomata. And there is behind them there is a chlorophyll which observes sunlight. Here are the big picture of a stomata. There is a leaf, and behind them there is a stomata. Here you can see that there is a small gap which is called stomatal opening, and there in surrounding you cell, these are the guard cell. Now here you can see the picture, which is carbon dioxide is observed, sunlight is observed from the root, water and minerals are observed. They go into the leaves, and where the food is prepared, and food is made and which used by the plant, and in exchange the oxygen is released by the plant. In this process, you know that oxygen is released. The presence of starch in leaves indicate the occurrence of photosynthesis, and when you have to test that there is a presence of starch in every leaves who made photosynthesis. If no starch is present, the leaves is dead. So every leaves which are green, there is a presence of which help in the which indicate that there is a photosynthesis is going on the leaves. Starch is also a carbohydrate. Starch. What is starch? Starch is also a carbohydrate, which is a food. Now, here is a class sixth experiment. You should perform. You may try this experiment. Now we can see that near the plant, near the ponds, there are the greenish type something. And in the rainy season, you can see on the boundary of your houses or on the roof, you can see there are a green color something. These green color are called algae. This green color all called algae. Okay, green pieces are called algae. They are also some type of living organism. They can also make their own food by because they have also a chlorophyll which give them green color, which them give them and they also can prepare by the their food by the process of the photosynthesis. Now now we learn that synthesis of plant food other than carbohydrate. How other we have learned that only carbohydrate is produced in the plant by the help of this photosynthesis. Now what about other nutrients? For example, protein and nitrogen, etc. You just learned that plant synthesize carbohydrate through the process of photosynthesis. We have just learned that the plant produces their food by the process of photosynthesis. And by the process of photosynthesis, we get carbohydrate, which are made by the carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. These are used to synthesize other component, and by using carbohydrate, they make their another nutrients such as protein and fat. Okay, but protein are nitrogenous substance. What is protein? Protein is a nitrogenous substance which contain because their proteins are nitrogen substance. They need nitrogen also. But how they get nitrogen from? How the plant get nitrogen? Now we'll going to learn how the plant get nitrogen from the how from where the plant get nitrogen. First of all, the soil has some let this is a plant and this is a small soils. Now there is we use fertilizer, some nitrogenous fertilizer which make the soil nitrogen is full in nitrogen that is observed by the plant. But there is also what but soil has also some bacteria. So soil has a certain bacteria which convert gaseous nitrogen to they convert the gaseous nitrogen into a compound nitrogen and mix them into and release it into the soil. These are and then that is this observed by the plant with water. All you, and we also seen that farmers also use fertilizer with nitrogen to the soil. By this way, their plants get nitrogens, and by the help of this, they synthesize proteins and vitamins, which is nitrogenous and other modes of nutrition. And how the there is not only the photosynthesis by which plant get their food. There are many ways. There are some plants which don't have chlorophyll. Some of the plants they have not chlorophyll and they cannot there make their own food. So how so what do you think how they are going to survive? For example, like human animal, we depend on the food production of planting. Okay, some of the plant which do not make their own food, they also depend on other plant. For example, there are some plant which are heterotrophic mode of nutrition, means they are depend on other plant. You have seen some of the plant for example like a mango tree, you or sometimes you see there is another plant going on that tree. That is called the that is called the heterotrophic model because they directly getting the food from the mango tree. They are not going to prepare their own food, they are getting the food from the mango tree. For example, there is a plant called cascata is what emerald thing. They don't make their own food. Like you see this is a plant where there is a host tree and there is you can see there is a web spider web like plant which are cover the whole tree. This and they are getting the food from this main tree. This main tree they are getting food from this. Now the this plant which make their own food are called host. But the plant who is getting directly food from the this plant is known as parasite. Parasite, you know the parasite. What is the meaning of the parasite? Parasite are the organism which depend on other plants. They are called parasite. So you can see here that these plants make their own food, and this the Weevil cascata plant is just directly uh, getting from the this uh, plant, main plant. So this is called a heterotropic mode. Now there are some more plants which cannot do even do this. They don't make their own food and don't steal food from the other plant. So how they are going to make their own foods? For example, have you seen or heard of plant that these are the plants who eat the animals? You have never heard the animals you have never heard the plant who eat animal, but there are some plant who eat animal. For example, this pitcher plant. This pitcher plant eat insects. How they how they how they eat the insects? So there is, you can see there is a lid here, and there is the main plant. So what happened there? You get a very smelly, like very smelly, very beautiful smell from this side, from inside of this plant. And when the insect going when the insect so when the insect going to sit here, they got trapped here, and uh, there are many hair like a structure which trap them in this, and this lid going to shut down. And then what happened, the insect is going to trap here, and slowly they are going to digested by the this plant. And there are also many plants, and this type of plants are called insectivorous plant because they are going to eat the insects. Now we are going to learn about saprotroph. What are saprotrophs? You might have seen some of the packets of mushroom and vegetables in market. Now they are not green. Now no, they are not green. They are not going to eat insects. You have seen that they are not going to eat insects, and they are also not going to depend on the other plant. Then how they are going to make their own food? So they are basically the fungi. These organisms are called fungi. What are these? These organisms are called fungi. How they eat? How they make their food? Their food. So they are not going to make their own food like plant. They do not depend on other plant like this cactus plant, and they're not going to eating insects. How they are going to make their food? So they get from dead and decaying organism. For example, if a if an animal died, now you have seen after 2 or 3 days there are many insects there which are eating the plant, and slowly you can see these types of other plant, not these, they are the same category of mushroom but not these. They are going to grow on there. There are many. For example, you have seen the if you make a bread of it, and uh, you are going to and left it for the 2 3 days, you are going to see that there are brownish something growing on there. They are not fungi, and they are going to eat this bread slowly and slowly because this is the best product. So they are the fungi are dependent on the best product of the organisms, means dead and decaying part. This mode of nutrition in organism depends on the dead and decaying matters. They are called a saprotrophic nutrition, and the animals are called saprotroph. Fungi also grow on many things such as pickles, leather, and clothes, and many other articles in the humid weather for rainy season. Example. Now we can we and there are more plant who are not going to make food like this. For example, there is a two plant who are going to be like mutual relationship. For example, if you give some water, they are going to give you carbon dioxide. For and this type of relationship is called symbiosis. You know, okay. Some organisms live together, share, they know each other, and they are going to share the things within themselves. For example, certain fungi live inside roots of plant. The plant provide nutrients to the fungus, and in return, the fungus provide water and certain nutrients. One of the organism is called lichens. Lichen is a chlorophyll containing partner which is an algae. Lichens is a plant which are made of two organism. One is algae and one is a fungus. Algae provide chlorophyll and fungus provide shelter and water and minerals to the algae, and algae uses them and make food by the users of this. And this plant is called lichens. In return, the algae prepare the food and give it to fungus. Now nutrients are replenished. How nutrients are replenished? Now you have seen that there are many cases uh, where the land just don't grow any plants. This is because there is a their nutrition is replenished. The soil nutrition are replenished uh, by the frequent use of the plant, by the frequent use by the farmers to grow the plant. So that's why their nutrition just disappear. Now, have you seen farmers? Now you have seen by using manure and fertilizer, they do whatever they do. They again fill the soil with the nutritions. You have learned that minerals and nutrition from the soil. So the amount in the soil keep on declining because of plant use them. They are going to decline. Fertilizer and manure content and nutrients such as now you know that we farmers use a fertilizer because fertilizer and nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, which fill the soil with the this nutrition, and the plant uses again and grow again. So if there is a decline in the nutrition, the plant is not going to grow again. Usually, crop plant absorb a lot of nitrogen and soil become deficient. So plants use many cases plant uses more nitrogen, and the nitrogen is going to disappear from the soil. So what farmers do? They uses fertilizer, and there is a rhizobium bacterium which is called rhizomia. They are going to make nitrogen into gaseous nitrogen into compound nitrogen usable form. But rhizobium cannot make its own food, and you know that rhizobium cannot make their own food. So it often lives in the root also. Where they live in the root of the plants, for example peas, moons, beans and other legumes, and provide them with and make them nitrogen, and they provide them nitrogen. In return the plant provide them foods and shelter. So they are in the relationship of symbiotic relationship. This association of great significance for the farmer. They can reduce the use of nitrogen. So this is helpful for the farmer because they rhizobium make the less use of the nitrogen fertilizer. Where factories fertilizer, they make the less use of the fertilizer which are prepared in the factory. So here the chapter complete. Hope you like hope you like this explanation. This is my first time in